For those who grew up poor, what did you consider a luxury? Going places during school vacation. The kids would be all like, what? You've never been to XYZ amusement park? No, Trisha. My family doesn't even have a car. Which is another luxury to me. This. I always felt so stupid when everyone would ask, where did you go this summer? My mom had 7 children in 10 years, 1950 to 1960. I remember having a whole bottle, those smallish glass ones that came out of the machine for 10 cents, of soft drink to myself instead of sharing one bottle between all 7 of us. I was perhaps 5 years old. I still remember this as the best thing ever. My mum did the same but in the 80s. Looking back, I think she had a pregnancy addiction. Life before my 6 siblings and life after were like 2 completely different lifetimes. I remember having stuff when we were very little, but as we got older we just had more kids to look after instead of toys and food. I adore all my siblings and wouldn't change them for the world, but I often wonder what having a real childhood is like and how it might have helped me. Almost the same thing. My mom's friend was buying sodas for our whole group on an outing and handed me my own Coke. I didn't even take it. I was like, oh, I can share with sister. But they insisted and I got my own bottle of Coke. Being allowed to turn on the heat during the winter, and also being able to hire a professional to fix broken appliances, plumbing, etc. I think that's what pushed me to be the jack of all trades type. If something broke, calling a professional was out of the question. Dad would fix it. Sometimes shittily, but he'd do it. Definitely those types of experiences that shape you as a person. Staying at someone's house who wasn't poor, like a relative or friend. Their house was also so clean, beautiful, pictures on the wall, knickknacks on the counter, and carpet you could play on because it was clean. I spent my entire teenage years hiding where I lived. I used to love flipping through home furniture catalogs like IKEA and fantasizing about what my dream bedroom would be, complete with framed posters, a professional study table with a desk lamp and office doodads, dresses that matched the hamper and trash bin, and an actual framed bed. My family didn't really have anyone over ever because we were honestly embarrassed we didn't have all the furnishings of a proper house. I made my mom cry one time, because she pushed me about why I never had friends over, and I said I was ashamed. I never complained about our living situation again after that. Parents staying home. I was always alone. Also, parents helping out with homework and school projects. They can't do that if they always work third shift. My projects were always notably shittier than everyone else's, and it's not like the teachers cared about how much effort I put into them. My mum used to leave my sister and me at home by ourselves when we were like 7 and 5 to go to the shops. I remember telling my girlfriend about it and she was shocked because she was literally never alone growing up. Always a responsible adult somewhere. I got pretty excited to be given my own bed. Same. Slept on an old futon for about 10 years as a kid. I could feel the metal bars through the mattress. My sister had a double-sized bed, however. I only got to sleep in a double-sized bed once I moved out of my parents' place. A hot shower. Cold showers were always available, but when you scraped enough cash to get some diesel fuel and get the burner to kick on long enough to have a hot shower, man, absolutely nothing better. I'd love to shower. Or wash in a real bath. I wash in a bucket of hot kettle water and some water from the tap. A sink would be nice too. Honestly didn't know that pastaroni was $1 until I was a grown-ass man. I thought that was some gourmet shit. I made the pastaroni fettuccine alfredo with sautéed shrimp in garlic butter plus Cajun seasoning for mice so they didn't believe it was from a $1 box. Ha ha ha, I could say the same of a lot of stuff we had. It's amazing how we just don't know. Buying new clothes. The days I justify ordering all kinds of dumb stuff online, but I've always felt a mental block on buying new clothes. It feels like an unjustified luxury because I always got by on second-hand clothes and free t-shirts. Going to the movie theater. This one for me as well. I saw a grand total of, like, 3 movies at the theater when I was in high school. My classmates would be discussing movies that had just come out and I never knew what to contribute to the conversation because I had not seen them yet. Finally started seeing movies at the theater when I started earning my own money. We weren't really poor, it's just that most of the money went towards our education, basic necessities, and luxuries like an internet connection. Pretty middle class, but I guess there's a huge difference between first world middle class and third world middle class, ahaha. It also wasn't very common for high schoolers to hold part-time jobs, although I'm not sure now. Having my own bedroom. Hey man, I'm 32. I went from sleeping in the living room to sleeping with my girlfriend in our room. I've never had my own room yet, though I guess having a man cave is a decent alternative. My mother used to consider any kind of cereal a luxury, they only had 1 box a month. My mom could somehow only find a way to afford Raisin Bran. I didn't try the fancy ones like Reese Puffs or Fruit Loops until I moved out on my own. Brand name cereal was for the upper class, man. Every time I saw Reese's Puffs on top of the fridge, I knew tomorrow was gonna be a good day. Growing up, my brothers and I were allowed to pick out a box of fancy cereal for our birthday. Having breakfast. It's gotten to the point where I can't eat in the morning because my body is so used to waiting. Holy shit, is this why I wait to eat so long? My GF always makes fun of me for waiting until my stomach hurts before I even think of eating. Grew up pretty poor in Arkansas in a trailer. I literally got a door to my bedroom for Christmas one year. It probably still was the best gift I ever received. Edit, whoa, didn't expect this to blow up. I guess I tapped into the vein of my poor Arky brethren, Duo Pixie. Edit 2, reading through the comments, I'm surprised so many others didn't have doors either. Feels good so many can relate, smiley face. I grew up poor in Arkansas too. We didn't have central heat or air, so I had to chop firewood for our wood-burning stove to stay warm in the winter. We lived way out in the boonies too, so convincing my parents to spend gas to take me to a friend's house was really hard. My BFF's parents cooked meth, so their house was even more rough than mine. This hits home so hard. I had a blanket across the doorway to my room which opened to the outside. The winter wind coming through was fucking brutal. Luckily this is Australia, so no snow and shit. When I got a door I was so happy. I don't know if anyone can relate, but in about 3rd maybe 4th grade, me and my twin brother had a music class where we were both required to buy a recorder. Like a plastic flute thing. Well, my mom said we didn't have the money, so my twin brother and I tore the whole house up in search of $6 for 2 recorders. We brought a Ziploc bag full of change, pennies, nickels, dimes, etc. I think the teacher felt sorry for us, cause she paid for our recorders when the rest of the students left the room. Gave us the Ziploc bag back. Thank you, Mrs. Albrecht. Edit, well shit, never thought I'd get this sort of response, let alone even a single award. Thank you to all those kind souls who gave me one. Only kid not in a Girl Scout uniform reporting for duty. In high school, my boyfriend, who became my husband, and his family picked up pretty early on that I was poor, and that my family was pretty dysfunctional. They really let me into their family and took care of me in a sweet, not pity, way. I was super into art, so his mom found a neighborhood art teacher that did like basically small group art classes, and it was so cool. Anyways, she usually charged like $100 for all the supplies, time, etc. My mom knew how excited I was, and I never asked for anything, so she told me to ask the teacher to wait until her next paycheck. The teacher was like, sure. By the time I brought that check to her, I think my boyfriend's mom talked to her, and she ripped it up and said I got a scholarship for the class. Honestly, it gives me such good vibes thinking about it till this day. School parties where everyone brought something to share for lunch. If you don't bring something, you don't get to participate. I brought 2 carrots after not being able to afford school lunch for 2 years. Even the teacher laughed at me. My young self just decided that day that some people don't deserve lunch. Edit, holy shit guys. I just woke up, but thank you for all of your kindness and all of these awards. I didn't expect this at all. I'm in a better place financially now, as some have asked, so don't worry. That was so many years ago. I have decided that my children, should I choose to have them, will have what they need when they need it. I hope all of you have such blessed, happy days, because you've made me smile, too. I know the feeling. Our language classes always had potluck day where kids would bring dishes from whatever language the class was. I took French for 3 years, and 2 of those years, my family couldn't afford to participate, and my teacher decided to let me participate after she saw how much food everyone else brought, but she made a point to berate me for it. I didn't eat out of guilt. Well, maybe a cup or soda or something. Edit, I just wanted to add that this happened in my first year of high school about 16 years ago, and it's still one of those moments that pops up every few years to keep me up a few extra hours at night. Thanks to the better teachers out there. When I was young, I always wanted to be a teacher because the good teachers made just as big of an impact as the bad ones in different areas of my life. Keep fighting the good fight. You're one of our best defenses from keeping society from falling apart completely. That's just evil. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.